Hello everyone, welcome to another learning session. Can you confirm in the group how many of you attended the previous session or at least watched the recording, went through all the notes, did the labs, and came prepared for today's session? Labs are optional, but watching the recording and going through the notes are not optional because those are available publicly without any login, right? Shall we get started with our live quiz? We use a software called Poll Everywhere. You can attend the quiz from the computer or from a mobile device. I would suggest you attend from a mobile device. The app name is Poll Everywhere. I will just type in the chat. So if you are installing the app, then the game will be smoother. But otherwise, you can directly go to the link from your mobile browser or computer browser anywhere. When it will ask for the presenter username, I'll give the code for today, which is QUI. I'll share again. I will show it on the screen also. And then you can log in mentioning your name also. But please note that whatever names you give will be part of the recording. If you don't want your name to be part of the leaderboard, then you can give some initials or some other name also. After the quiz, do share me the screenshot either on LinkedIn or on Facebook chat or on WhatsApp. The leaderboard, you can only see the top 10, but you will have information about what is your current state. Okay, so let me share the screen and get started. So if you want to attend the quiz from your browser on mobile phone or browser on a computer, you can go to this URL polev.com/QUI. If you are logging in from a mobile device using the Poll Everywhere app, when it asks for the presenter username, you can give a QUI. So these are not just any quizzes. We call them as quiz and talk. The reason is because while the quiz is happening, I'll be talking to you. And if you have any doubts about the questions, you can just ask me. Basically, you have multiple opportunities to learn and make things thorough. You first attend the live session, then you attend the recordings, then you go through all the notes, and then you come to check your knowledge. And while checking your knowledge, if you feel like, okay, I thought I know this thing, but the answer is not what I expected, you can just ask me, okay, can you please explain that point again? With all of these things, and if you have enrolled into the CloudRx Forum CA program, or if you have just purchased the AZ 104 cookbook, you will also have labs. And if you do labs also, it will be super thorough. Even otherwise, if you follow this process, then you can definitely master Azure Cloud concepts. The presenter name is there on the screen after polyv.com/QUI. Okay. So here comes your first question. Which Azure storage account type supports all major services such as blobs, files, queues, tables, and also offers tiering options? So in Azure Cloud, we have blobs, which are put in something called as containers. Then we have file shares. Then we have queues. Those are first in, first out. Then we have tables. They are non-relational. So let us see. Majority of you have answered it correctly. So let us see the leaderboard. We have four first places. And please note that as you see here, there are some scores with 1000, some 875, and all of those things, right? So the speed in which you answer also counts. So let me continue. What type of blobs are supported by premium page blobs? Block blobs, append blobs, page blobs, or invisible blobs? Page blobs only. Again, majority is correct. Which Azure storage kind is optimized for high performance object storage with SSD backed storage. Blob storage. Again, the majority is correct. So if you have answered it wrong, just ask yourself, is it because you did not understand it properly, or you did not learn properly? If it is because you have not understood it properly, just ask. If you require storage for Azure Virtual Machine OS and data disk, which combination of Azure storage, account type, and kind should you choose? Even if you are not part of the leaderboard, don't worry, because there is enough time to come. Premium page blobs plus storage v2. Which feature is unique to the blob storage account? So what do you mean by advanced lifecycle management? So we have learned about the tires, right? So what are the tires? We have hot, cool, cold, and archive. So with lifecycle management, you can configure, okay, if this data was not accessed for say 30 days, move from hot to cool. And if it is not used for 90 days, move from cool to cold. Or if it is not used for 180 days, move from cold to archive, or any of those such movements, or even just delete the file. Okay, so that is lifecycle management. And static website hosting is about deploying your web files that doesn't require any dynamic processing. What type of blobs are supported by premium blobs? Blobs and append blobs. So the premium option for blobs also is the same option for append blobs if you want to choose that. Okay. What type of access pattern does page blob support? Okay, random read or write. Which performance kind is used for premium blobs? So every week, just learn and then attend these quizzes so that things will be thorough for you. Okay, blob storage. Which blob type is optimized for storing large files such as videos and images? Okay, 100% correct. Blob. What is the size of each page in page blob? Okay, majority is correct. It is 512 bytes. Which blob type is most suitable for storing logs and audit trails? Okay, append blobs. What advantage does using small block sizes in an unstable network environment provide? Okay, reduces the risk of re-uploading large failed blocks. In which scenario would you prefer page blobs over block blobs? Hosting a virtual machine disk. What is the maximum block size for a blob in Azure? Okay, it is 100 MB. In Azure, what is the size range for blocks in append blobs? Okay, it is 64 KB to 4 MB. What access tier would you recommend for real-time analytics of data? Even if you are in 11th position or even 12th, do not lose hope because one mistake from somebody can bring you into top 10 anytime. What? What is the minimum retention period for data stored in a cool tier? 30 days. Which access tier has the lowest storage cost but the highest retrieval cost and delays? We were primarily focusing on blob storage. Today, after the quiz, we will learn about file shares. File shares also have storage tiers, but they are different. Which tier is ideal for long-term compliance data that is rarely accessed but must be readily available? Okay, called. A good number of people mentioned archive. So the clue here is readily available. Archive won't be readily available, right? Which feature helps automate tier transitions based on access patterns and data age? Lifecycle management. Which rehydration priority should you choose for urgent data access? So getting data back from archive tier is called rehydration. What is a typical rehydration time for blobs up to 50 GB using standard priority? Okay, up to 15 hours. Which Azure redundancy option replicates data 3 times within a single data center? Select the most appropriate one. Locally redundant storage, LRS. What does zone redundant storage protect against? Data center failures within the same region. What redundancy options are available for standard general purpose V2 storage accounts? Okay, all of them. What is the key limitation of premium block blobs regarding redundancy options? So it's not about only winning or coming in top 10, right? It is about participating. So they only support LRS and ZRS. Yeah, second one is also, but first one is more appropriate. Okay, what is the purpose of a secondary endpoint in RAGRS and RAGZRS? Okay, to provide read-only access to data in secondary region. What happens if the primary region goes down in RAGRS or RAGZRS? Secondary region remains read-only unless failover is configured. How does Azure determine the secondary region for a geo redundancy? Okay, Azure uses predefined region pairs. I need all of you to answer this in chat. So I have a storage account. Where will the data get replicated? To the secondary region, which is predefined by Microsoft Azure. So what if I want to automatically copy my data to any other region or any other storage account? Is it possible? If I am asking you, is it possible to replicate the whole storage account to any other region automatically? Like you switch on a switch, just like we select this RAGRS, right? You switch on a switch at storage account level and say, okay, copy everything, just like you would do geo redundancy to any other region or any other storage account. So is that possible? is replication possible at a storage account level? The answer is we can do something called as object replication. So I will show it from the portal and then share notes also. So object replication means you can have a destination account, you can have a source account, you can have a destination account, and you can configure two containers within those source and destination. Okay, so those two containers are called as container pairs. From the source container, data gets copied automatically to the destination container. But it is not like the geo redundancy where the whole storage account is getting copied. Clear? Any doubts? So how long can data be retained using soft delete? Okay, 1 to 365 days. And our final winners. So congratulations to Dinesh, Saurabh, Shilpa, and even Sanku, Vinod Kumar, guest 013, Prasanna, Anub, Jay, guest 906, and rest of the people. I cannot see rest of the people right now because the leaderboard only shows top 10. But rest of the people can share their scores with me. So participating in Qs is a really important requirement for all of the free programs. Okay, because if you are not learning and if you are not participating, then there is no point in giving away free resources like Azure Cloud Access or free Forum C or free membership. None of them does not make any sense if you are not learning. So that said, let us stop sharing and let me come back to my main system. So now tell me, what do you know about file shares? So we learned about blobs, and we will again learn more about blobs, especially from a security perspective after we learn about file shares. We are primarily focusing on AZ104 syllabus, but again, I will touch upon things that are outside the syllabus also because ultimately I believe it is all about becoming an Azure cloud expert and not just clearing the certification. There is a question. Hi, where can I obtain the cheat sheet? This is my first time attending the meeting. So if you look into the invite you got for attending this meeting, there is link for recording of a previous class. And if you go to the description of that link, you will get all of these notes. So let me share Azure Cloud portal. We saw how to create a storage account in part one, right? So I have one storage account already created. Same way we created last time. We went and created container and worked with blobs and all. So today we will work with file shares. When you click on plus file share, you need to give a name. I'll give AZ104 file share. And you remember the different tiers for blob, right? So here it is different. It is not the same. The premium one is available only if you select the premium performance tier. You have transaction optimize, which is a balanced one, or hot, which is the fastest, and then cool. Hot and cool, you know the definition. It is almost same. So let us go with the transaction optimize, which is the default, and then backup. So backup will not focus much now because there is a whole chapter for backup later, and we can review and then we can click on create. If you have worked in a shared environment in office and all, you might have seen shared drives, right? So this is just the same. Okay, so you create. Okay, it is created successfully. So you can okay, so you can see all of your file shares. The quota you really don't need. So you can reduce, be soft delete, right? So let us quickly create a storage account. We'll not look into these for now. Let us go to enable soft delete for file shares. Okay. So next, we'll create. Okay. So go to resource. So we are inside our storage account. Go to file shares. We can create a new file share. My file share. We'll not do backup now and create. Okay. So my file shares. So now if I try to delete, okay. So let me delete it. So you can't see anything, but you can click on short deleted shares and then you can undelete. Okay, yeah, it will take a little bit of time to actually get completely deleted and then to come back. So let us create one more. Okay, and then we can upload files just like blob, but here we can also create directories because in your shared drive you also have directories, right? So maybe a dev folder. I can click on browse. I can go to the dev folder and then maybe I can upload a file. You create a text document. Okay, I'll upload it. Okay, yeah, txt came twice. Okay, I'll upload it inside this folder. Okay, so now if we go back, we can undelete the older one if we need. Okay, so now we have two file shares. Things are clear until now, right? So now, okay, so and then to be on the safer side, maybe we can create a snapshot. We can create again, and these snapshots are incremental. So we can also do backup stuff, which we will see later in the backup session. But we have created a file share. So now what we can do is we can go to virtual machines. So I'll create a new virtual machine. So we'll learn about the virtual machines in depth in next module. So let us go to AZ104. This is give a resource group, file share demo. Let us know go with any redundancy options, which we will see later. Okay, so let us go with a Windows machine and let us go with a standard D series machine. Okay, so let us give a username. Okay, so rest of the things we can keep it as is. Okay, so I'll create. Do not only follow these demonstrations, because we have lots of additional labs in the cookbook that you can practice in your free time. And then if you have any doubts, ask in Keva group, because we have a dedicated team available to support you from Tuesday until Saturday. All you have to do is ask, and then team will come in the Zoom meeting, and then will help you out. The problem with demonstrations is it will take time. So we generally follow a practice. So for most of the things, you have very detailed lab documents with the screenshots and detailed steps. So it will be much more effective when you practice it rather than you just see them on screen. Okay. And if you are stuck, we will log in and then help you out. Okay. You can go to resource. Let us try to connect. Okay. Let me download the RDP file and let me connect. I've just clicked on that RDB file and gave username and password and logged in. So what you can do is you can go to our storage account, go to our file share and click on connect. And we are having a Windows machine, right? So just click on show script. So everything is here. You just have to copy paste. So I can go and then search for PowerShell. Okay, and I'll right click and then run as administrator. Okay, I've pasted it here. So let us wait for a little bit of time. Okay, so it is still happening. Okay, File Explorer, PC. So as of now, it has not come here. I do the demo and then add it to a recipe in cookbook with all the screenshots so that I can just go through it and explain. And then you can also follow them easily and then practice. And if you are preparing for some test or interview or something of that kind, that will be more useful than these demos, because you'll not be able to go through all of these. But that one you can just scroll through in a few seconds. Okay, so while we wait for this, so what is the purpose of file share? So it is a shared drive within companies, right? So even though it is not explicitly part of the AZ104 syllabus, there is also another concept called as file sync. So how many of you have heard about a file sync? File sync makes use of file shares, but it has some additional functionality. So basically, in case of file sync, so you have a central server and then you have multiple offline locations. Imagine that we have offices in Canada and India. So these offices will be connected to that central server. Okay, so yeah, it is available now. So the dev folder we created and the file we uploaded there. So we can from inside the VM. Okay, I've edited it here. Okay, so the file sync makes use of a file share, but it will actually cache things in your local machine. So whatever files you are actually using frequently, those will be cached in your local machine. Okay. Any doubts about a file share? So similarly, you can go to any other machines and then you can add the drive. All the people will be sharing it. So let me go back to Azure portal. Let me go to CloudRix and then show you the nodes. So there is a detailed lab with all the screenshots and information for file sync. So cloudrix.com/blog understanding file sync. So it is something on top of file share. So the advantage here is you have centralized file management. Okay, it is a tied storage. Basically, it means that for say your Bangalore office or Canada Calgary office, even if internet is not there, whatever is cached in your local machine, you can use. And if some file is not used frequently, it will be only available in the cloud. Okay, so this is more of a hybrid approach rather than a cloud only approach like file shares. So file share is a cloud only approach. So that means that if internet is not there, you cannot access your files. But here it is a hybrid approach. So whatever files you are currently working on, it will be there in your local machine. Even if internet is not there, you can still access those files. It is useful for cloud backup and discovery, multi-site sync. So basically, you have different offices in different locations. Data is synced across them. Integration with Azure security. We'll see more about storage security in next class. How does Azure File Sync work? So you basically install the Azure File Sync agent, and then you create a storage sync service. Okay, in Azure Cloud portal, you can just search for storage sync services, and you can create. So basically, you give your even name, region, resource group, all the standard things. Okay, and allow access from all networks or private endpoints only. Tags, review, and create. It's very straightforward. Use cases: branch office, file storage, backup or disaster recovery, data archiving. The basic steps are here, but in the lab documents, detailed steps with screenshots are there, even though it is not part of the explicit syllabus. It is good to learn and understand. As always, our goal is just not certification. Okay, so you can quickly compare them. So let me go back to Azure portal. Okay, imagine that I have a lot of data in my on premises and I want to move to cloud. So what are the options? So Azure Cloud has something called as import export service. So previously that service was separate. It was called as import export service. But now, sometime back, Azure moved that service into another service called Azure Data Box. So if you go to create a data box, you can say whether I want to import to Azure or export to Azure. Okay, then I have to go with a subscription, and then I have to select a resource group. Okay, I have to select source country or region. Let me mention Canada, or let me mention India here. So destination also, let us keep it as India just to experiment. Okay, Central India. Okay, destination Azure region. These options are disabled because it's a complementary account for me. So basically, Azure will give you a device, and then you copy data into it, and then you give it back to Azure. So this is the import export one, which was previously a different service. Now it is part of Azure Data Box. You can click on select. Okay, maybe you can give some name. You can provide job details. You can provide the encryption type and all of those things. And then carrier. So if you are since we selected India, so whatever carriers are available for picking up your disk, okay, you can select and then you can ship them. So this one does not have a lab, but at least you understood the concept, right? So basically, you send them over a courier. You can send up to 10 disks per order and supports SATA or SSD disks. Okay, let us go back to storage account and then the object copy, object replication. So this is where you configure your object replication for blobs. Okay, you can create replication. You have to select a destination. Subscription could be different from your subscription or even same. And destination storage account, it cannot be same as the original one. You have to give a different one. Okay, and then you need to select a container from both places. So here I don't have a container created. So basically it is only for blobs. You can have many pairs for copying. Okay, so it is not at a storage account level, but at a container level. So you can have multiple containers, source and destination containers, and data will be copied. File shares. And then this security we can configure for file shares. We normally say SSL, right? So what are the different versions of SSL? How many of you know about TLS? Which is the latest? Is it SSL or TLS? SSL was the older one. Then it became TLS. Many people still call that mechanism as SSL. So you generally see SSL/TLS. And again, TLS has multiple versions. Always the latest one is secure one. So when you say maximum compatibility, so SMB is a different protocol. SMB is for file share, the shared drive thing. And then if you see maximum security, then only the latest will be selected. But if you say maximum compatibility, then everything will be selected. But SMB 2.1 does not enforce HTTPS. We in our storage account, we have selected something like secure transfer required. Set it configuration. Okay, secure transfer required, which is enabled, which is a very good practice. And since we have done that, okay, since we have done that, even if we select a maximum compatibility, it will not be actually working. Okay, so we can select custom and then select whatever we want. Okay, so this is about the security profile configuration. Okay, soft delete, you can change the number of days 1 to 365. We can disable it here if you want. Just play around with file shares and even file sync. Finally, don't worry, like we will go through the Microsoft presentation also, just to make sure that we haven't missed out anything. But we will be fastly going through it, quickly explaining. Maybe you will be answering questions based on the presentation, and then we will wind up. We are actually covering more things than that is there in the presentation. So how can we increase cloud storage or capacity? So I've shown, right? So you can just edit quota here and then say 50 or set to maximum. So max storage is 100 TIB. With respect to storage account, we also have a tool called Storage Explorer. You can search for Storage Explorer. Do it as an assignment. So you can go to Storage Explorer, scroll down, download for your operating system. Just install and then just sign into your Azure portal. You'll open a browser like window where you will sign into your Azure portal, and then you can go back and then wait for a little bit, and then you can work with your storage account from your local machine. There are labs for that also. Security is will be discussed next class, but again, so currently if you see, we are actually using access keys and all. If you go to this configuration, you have an option, so you can say that okay, default to Microsoft Entra authorization in the portal. Instead of using these access keys and all, we will be using Entra, so which is considered a little more better within organizations. It is completely out of AZ 104 syllabus. We have a certification called SC 300, which is completely Entra ID or our Azure ID. So once we are done with AZ 104 syllabus, if you are interested, we can definitely go through SC 300. Security is one of my favorite areas within cloud. A lot of security related certifications are there, starting with SC. Next class, I will go through the checklist and then make sure anything that we missed will be covered. That is it. If you have any questions about anything, may not be related to Azure Cloud, anything you can ask me. Let me stop sharing. Okay, Dinesh, you can speak.
Like when the initially talked about regarding that object replication line. So can we see in our subscription, or else we need you said like we can replicate from one region to another region instead of that bad region we can replicate to another region to any storage account. That's
Yeah.
what can.
So you provide a destination subscription and destination storage account. It could be any subscription. It could be any region. It does not matter. You can even give the same subscription also. But the only thing is, it needs to be a different storage account. That different storage account could be in this subscription or different subscription, different region, does not matter. And once you select that destination subscription and destination storage account, then it should have a container. So here, the copy happens from source container to destination container. So you need two containers in two different storage account.
Okay. Okay. So, is there any security mechanism, like, for example, we can consider like maybe a parent-child kind of organization. So, we want to replicate that data from one storage account to another. So, for that, like, any what kind of security mechanism we can use and how it works? Because if we can consider that the entire subscription is different than region also.
So security, like I'll be taking the session on RBAC role. So Azure has two sets of roles. You have the Entra ID roles, which are for managing users, and you have the RBAC roles, which are for managing Azure subscription resources. For demo, I might be using a contributor role or owner role, which has all permissions. But otherwise, there are many fine-grained roles that you can use to give different users only that level of permission. So we'll go through it again once more. Module 2, I believe. But again, we will revisit that again and again. Yeah. Vinod?
Uh, Sir, you told about object replication, like creating storage account and creating a destination storage account. My question is, I set up some policies on my source storage account, like in source container, example like legal load or any other policy. So during the replication, these policies also will be applicable on the destination storage container.
No. So the not just the policy, so only the data is copied.
So policies
Okay.
will not be replicated. Okay.
Yeah. So not even the tires. Okay. So normally what happens is people in practical scenarios have different tires configured, different tires and different policies configured for source and destination, because destination is generally used as a backup, right? So you don't need hot access tier in that case, right?
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Okay, and access also, your customers are actually accessing only the, your applications are actually accessing only the primary one. So access also, you don't have to give that complete access to towards the backup account.
Okay, sir. My next question is, as you spoke about that enter ID roles versus RBAC roles, do we have a session for RBAC in future?
Yeah. So always we'll have a session. So what, how it goes is module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then again it will come back and come back. So
I missed the previous sessions. I'm not sure which model we are in. That's
so we
why.
start. So this time, like you can actually start from module 1 or module 4 or module 7 or module 8. So because Azure 104 certification is actually structured in such a way that okay, these are all different topics. So for example, module 1 is about identity, and then module 2 is about RBAC. And if you see module 1, if you want to learn further about module 1, then there is a whole certification called SC300. So similarly, module 4, 5, 6 are about networking. So you cannot jump into 5 because 5 is a continuation of 4, but you can start with 4. So you need to have some basic knowledge that usually that prerequisite videos, if you watch, that is more than enough. Even these RBAC things are also included in that prerequisite videos. Okay, so
Okay.
so you can either jump to 4 or 7 or even 8. But after 8, everything is related to 8. Even 4, 5, 6 is related to 8. So that is why we will, after 8, we will come back to 4, 5, 6 again. Because with the networking, you need to deploy virtual machines and all.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Sanku, you can talk.
Hi. Yeah, I'm asking that so for the object replication, suppose we have different geographic location. So we heard this term, right, like GDPR. So is there any restriction if we are moving from any European location to any other location in this scenario?
So there are different complaints laws, right? So certain laws say, okay, whenever I delete my account, all my data has to be deleted. So if you have a mechanism for that, well and good. So some other rules might say, okay, my data should reside only within a particular continent or particular country. So in that case, you cannot replicate to another geographical area. But most of the Azure replications, the default replications, are usually within the same geographical area. Most of them are within your geographical area. For example, US East to US West, or India Central to India South, or something of that kind, because overall it will be within the same geography. In that case, mostly it should be fine. Outside country or continent, then you have to definitely check into the compliance things. Azure has a lot of compliance related documents also. So always better to check the particular law and then follow it. It will clearly state, okay, whether my requirement is to delete data, or whether my requirement is to keep the data for 7 years, or whether my requirement is to keep the data within a country or within a continent. And then based on that, you have solutions for all of those.
Okay, thank you.
Any geographical restriction is there while copying data? So from an Azure perspective, for object replication, there is no restriction, but you have to be aware about whatever laws or compliance requirements you have. But with respect to the whole storage account replication, the redundancy option, that is only to the paid region. Okay, so if somebody is asking you, you should definitely know, okay, which of these they are asking. Okay, clear? Okay, good. And there is a question regarding a lab book. If we get it, can we get the Azure subscription to practice along with it? So there are different different programs. So if you are just purchasing or getting the lab book alone, it is just like purchasing a book. So these are yeah, so these are my uh, AWS security cookbooks. Okay, so it is just a book. So similarly, if it is the Azure one, it is an online one. You'll get all the labs. You'll have to practice it on your own. But if you are joining a program like Forum CA, you'll get Azure access. And also we have programs such as 90 minutes commitment. So basically, if you agree to help us back by just taking screenshots and documenting the steps while you practice, not for all the labs, but at least one lab per day, then you can get free Azure access also. Okay, so these are the three programs we have. Either if it is just purchasing cookbook, then it is only cookbook. If it is a program like Forum CA, then you have everything, including Azure access, live projects, everything. Or you can commit to helping us prepare more and more recipes, and then while preparing you are using our Azure account only. So you are, and then you can use that for additional labs also. Okay, so these are the three ways in which you can contribute. And if you are not working, then you can even go with the full Forum CA free with deposit option, so that you can learn full time, practice anytime, and then get ready for your next job. Okay, Soumya.
Hi, Hartan. Good
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
So, like, I am very new to Azure. Like, I don't have any much experience onto the cloud. So, like, I
Okay,
am interested for so can you give some details on the 90 minutes program, Hartan?
okay. So 90 minutes program, you will be working together with the team. Mostly,
Okay,
initially, you will be practicing from existing recipes, and then
okay,
if there are some variations, for example, in our recipe, in our normal recipe, in our lab, we selected only one of those options, right? So in those recipes, there will be only uh, one of those options present. So that one you can
yeah,
practice and learn, and then you will be additionally practicing and documenting with another option selected. So our end goal is, now we have 300, right? So our end goal is this should be the ultimate cookbook. So if we all work together,
oh yeah,
we can make it as the ultimate cookbook. So the goal is not just certification. So if even in the cookbook we separate contents, like so the one for certification and one additional recipes. So if you follow the ones for certification, you will clear the certification with very good marks. And but
okay,
when you go for interviews, you cannot say that, okay, I've only learned about uh, I have only learned AZ104, then I cannot do anything else. You cannot say. So that is for
yeah,
the extra ones. So many people, what they do is they will do the primary one, get certified, and the extra ones, whenever they have some, whenever like an apple a day, keep the doctor away, right? So similarly, they practice little bit every day, and whenever they have some doubts, they come back and check that particular recipe. So our ultimate goal is this should be the ultimate Azure cloud cookbook in
yeah,
the world. Okay.
sure. Okay, so like what I am expecting from my end is like I'm like I want to gain knowledge on cloud and explore it so that it helps in my career further because cloud is like enhancing, like it's required everywhere.
Yeah, so cloud is growing very fast, and then especially
Yeah.
Azure and AWS clouds.
So yeah,
So
so like I want to master in one cloud, like either AWS or Azure, anything is fine, but I want to get knowledge and gain experience into it. So I thought like instead of learning from my end, self-learning, like if I get into involved into something, some programs, that will be easier, like learning with others will be helpful more.
yeah, definitely. So we have, so almost
Yeah.
like 80 percentage of people here in the session are part
Yeah.
of the Forum CA program.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can definitely share all information. So and then so for the cloud basics, so you can I'll show you one more thing quickly before we wind up.
Yeah. Seen this. Yes.
Okay, so here especially what you can do, this is for everybody. So especially what you can do is, so if you go to playlist and if you go to this Azure Cloud Fundamentals 2024,
Yeah.
so if you can see the cloud computing part 1 and part 2, these are common for AWS and Azure tracks. And so these two Azure Cloud Fundamentals. So these two, if you see, so somebody was asking about RBAC roles and all, right? So most of
Yes.
the core fundamental things I've explained here. So if you watch this one, this Azure Cloud Fundamentals, so you should always start with the part 1 and part 2. Then you should watch this Azure Cloud Fundamentals. You'll get the core idea about how Azure works.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so concepts like tenant, subscription,
Yeah,
RBAC,
that are the basics. Yes.
yeah, all the basics you will get from here, and then you can start with any of the modules I mentioned, either module 1 or 2 or 4 or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So this playlist is the one you should start watching.
Yeah. Sure. Cloud fundamentals. Yes. Cloud computing.
Yeah, Fred, I'm unmuting you. Okay.
Hello, Artin.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, I don't have any question anyway. I just I saw the invite and because I mixed the last class last week and the quiz as well. I came very late, so I wanted to join and see how it goes. So I was just trying to play back the YouTube video as well to catch up on last week class. So that is why I'm just trying to see how everything goes today.
Okay, sure. So any doubt, you can always get back to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I'm in no, but currently I'm pursuing this Azure 104.
Okay.
Basically, I am a Windows admin currently. Uh, I'm not. I have to be honest. I'm not a good in scripting. But what will be the future of app now? After I learn this Azure 104, so Azure needs some scripting. I mean, some other applications like Azure 205 or 500 needs some scripting knowledge. Or else, how can I survive after this?
Okay.
Completing this 104.
Okay. So with 104, you need to have basic knowledge of either PowerShell or CLI. Okay. So most of the Windows admins will be familiar with the PowerShell, or it is not very. It is just running commands, right? It is not very difficult to learn also. But from a career perspective, you cannot be always admin alone, right? So the Microsoft provides you a path. After admin, you can go into a DevOps role. So when it comes to DevOps role, you need to have some kind of infrastructure as code tool in your skill sets. Okay, Azure has something called as ARM templates, Bicep. AWS has something called as Cloud Formation, etc., etc. But one of the most popular tools that people use across companies is Terraform. Okay, so from a career perspective, if you have any cloud knowledge and if you are not a developer, then definitely you should look at learning Terraform.
Okay, sir.
Can I assume that there are no more questions, and shall we wind up? Okay, so that's it. Thank you everybody for attending the class and then giving feedback. So bye bye for now, and see you all in next class.